favor that anybody ever did me, because I know what happened to the ones that did get the money. Would you mind asking what? What? Nothing. Nothing. Well, I, having had no inheritance, had to go to work, and I learned to make my own money. The next best thing that ever happened to me was when I was assigned by Andrew Carnegie to devote 20 years to the building of this philosophy. One of his conditions was
Do you have any thoughts?
How are you?
I can't hear you. You're muted.
Can you hear me better? Hello?
You're muted, man.
I'm not. Oh, my microphone is not working.
Oh, you're not muted. It might be me. I know why.
Tell me.
Let me tell you the story of how I came to meet Andrew Carnegie.
What's going on? Everything good? Hey, Ugly.
I'm there, gentlemen.
Let me read the book.
Oh, are you there?
I'm here. How are you, Andre?
Not so bad, my friend, not so bad. I ran my distance today and I have to run it tomorrow too, so that's good. Oh. Yeah.
So, how's the pergola project coming? Did you finish?
Hello.
Good evening, folks. How are you, Andre? You doing well?
Not so bad, yeah.
Good. I don't know what to say. Anthony, you muted out.
Yeah.
Anthony, you mentioned that you wanted to have 15 minutes on the call to speak.
No, I don't want that anymore.
Come on, man. What happened, dude? The fuck?
No, I'm just not prepared. I want to wait until Thursday.
Okay. You got it, boss. So I can either go on this, or I can go right on the laws of success, or I can, I don't know. I don't like to wing it. You look great, Anthony. You look great, brother. That's a great picture, dude.
Very big smiley man.
Yeah, he is.
Won't be long ago, we're gonna be with you. Give me 5 minutes. Where is Matt tonight?
I'm sending him a message right now asking him.
All right.
The habit of savings. The habit of savings.
The habit of saving.
That's quite an habit, huh, Hugo?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I should go straight to the Laws of Success book or this thing. This thing gives me a 45-minute thing to talk. This book, I'm just winging it because I really haven't taken the time to read it.
I remember the first time I read that, I make nearly a depression.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a good kick in the ass and a good reminder to do what I have to do with the money, the goddamn money, the good money, the lice, newlies, the pesos. Yes. Oh yes. Habit of saving.
Yes, sir. There is man.
Matt's here. Here he is.
Look at that big smile, that son of a bitch has.
Come the man.
Why you smiling so much, Matt? Oh, that's just a picture. You ugly ass. You look like someone from Star Trek, Matt. You're muted out. There it is. That's better. What's up with those smiles, bro? Everybody's smiling. So, Matt, you here with us tonight? Talk to me, bro.
Okay, I had to figure it out.
Woo. How are you, Mr. Matt?
I'm tired.
Yeah, join the club.
I'm ready
That's
for
okay.
bed.
That's good to be tired because you do something.
Well, you guys don't know what work is.
Yeah, I cleaned bathroom.
What's up, Matt? We're going. Which book we're going to? The problem with the Laws of Success is like we really got to wing it, and I hate for us to just read word by word the Laws of Success. The other one we played it kind of pretty good, me and you. So, which one would you like to do? And if you're tired, baby, you can just make comments.
I'll just make comments.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go with the Laws of Success.
Okay. Good.
That way people in there are looking at it. Because on this book, it's just take inventory of yourself. I don't want to ask you personal questions.
Right.
All right, so that's that. You can read with me, bro, and try to win it too. Unless you're not gonna put your ugly face in the camera. I'm gonna smoke a spliff thing for you guys. So I can get motivated. What's up, Andre?
Motivator.
The motivator.
What else is going on?
We going live tonight?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Brother, the kid Steve is coming in too. That guy Steve is someone that I know for like 5 years ago.
Oh yeah.
When I started this, he works at a Dunkin' Donuts. He's still the manager there. Kid does good, bro.
Oh good.
Yep. We'll see how it goes.
Well, I think we want to keep the panel small, but we also want to grow the panel. So at some point, we want to decide who's going to stay in the panel and who's going to be invited for guests and make the panel something that is coveted.
We want people that are seriously committed and that have at least reading the chapter before they come in here. Another few points, bro. We are getting some people reaching out to us, which is a good thing. We are getting people involved. We almost close to 2,000 likes, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
The other suggestion I make is like everything we put in these laws of success should be about the laws of success. Well, there's many ways. If we grab another book that's on PDF, we can just copy and paste and put it. I guess it's just me and you, man. I don't know. But if we had a place where we can, another thing is there should be a file in there where we can be putting the laws of success in there. Or
Yeah, there's a files place in there, I think. There sure is.
what else? Any ideas or thoughts?
Regular nap time.
Was that?
Regular nap times.
What do you mean by that?
We have to dedicate regular nap times. I was joking.
Oh, okay. Brother, I come home every day at 12, 1 o'clock, and I take a nap. I'm lucky like that.
That's how you get your juice.
Yeah, but I also worked until 7 o'clock.
I was up at like 4 this morning. That was crazy. It's going to be like that from now on.
At 4? Yeah, it's very early at 4.
Yeah, I can get out of work at 2 though, so.
Oh.
Still
It's a lot of hour, my man. It's a lot of hour.
Yes, sir.
But it's a good contract.
Yeah, there's reason to work.
Well,
I
it's
stopped-
gonna be.
I stopped by Cracker Barrel today and got to pick up that account. He
Okay.
was interested. I got his personal email and I sent him an email right away.
And you're gonna have a lot of contract.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I like using the Kivak. It's pretty fun.
Okay. Oh, it's a nice machine.
Yeah.
Clean a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't try to break my back anymore while I'm cleaning. I just spray it down, rinse it off, and suck it up.
That's it. That's the law.
They want to scrub, they got to pay more.
Right, if you want to do that for a long time, yeah. But the business gonna grow.
Yeah, the business will grow.
Bobby, that's good. That's what you need, my man.
Yeah, it just takes time, you know. Like right now, doing all the work but not getting any money
I know.
How's that? Why is that?
because these people are on account.
Well, you get paid once a month?
Yeah, net 30.
Oh shit.
I've been doing it for 3 years, buddy. Out of all these houses I sold, the only time I got to live, so I'm good.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey,
Just learning the ropes.
real quick, I wanted to let you guys know because I just double checked on the website to see what I had put up there. But I've got 2 different versions of the Law of Success on the website, a PDF version and then another web-based version. And then it's got an audiobook version. Plus I've got the Compensation by Ralph Waldo Emerson and Science of Getting Rich. Those are all under the reading list.
Very cool.
So those are all resources. Like I had mentioned before, I go there just to even get on the calls. I have the Zoom conference that I just tap on right there, and it's always there for me. Calling numbers there, all that. So I mean, it's a resource that's there. You know, if you have more thoughts of what you want to add to it, let me know. But that's just what I've got so far. That's what I've had, you know, the last few months.
The videos on YouTube of every law, we can put them in there, and then every week I can just take it from there and put them on the page. So this would be the habit of saving. Put it in there so people can listen to that.
That's where I take my my thing, Anthony.
What's that?
That's the place I take it. The Law of Success on the internet. I got the PDF, and if you want to study it very profoundly, you go with the video of. They got plenty of audio book and thing like that, and it's free.
Yeah, that's what I was saying on the Law of Success Mastermind.com. That's our website that we've had the last few months. If you click on reading list, I have that so that we can send people to that if they want access to it without having to say Google search and all that.
I think you go is good, Misty and Matt and you and me. We're good. We're good to explain it. But it's good to have it on the website. That's true.
Yeah, that's a really good resource, Anthony. Good job, man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Putting that up there makes a difference. Just got to get used to using it and having it as a central hub for, like you say, just clicking a button to go to Zoom. That's a good idea.
And for them to put in their email.
Well, that's different. I mean, kind of what you're talking about, Hugh. Like, I can create a page and put all the individual lessons. Like right now, I've got the audio of all of it. It's like 24 hours or something like that. But I could create another page and have them broken down individually, which I had thought about. But no one has really even been interested in the site, so I haven't been wanting to put a whole lot of effort into it until we start utilizing it. But in regards to the YouTube, you can just share those. That would still be the same.
How about the Zoom call? Can I go in the morning when I do my morning call? I can go in Zoom and then go live. So that way it's on Zoom, and then we can send it somewhere else.
Yeah, you can do that. You just have to, get into Zoom and make sure you can get it connecting into Facebook properly and all that. Sometimes it takes a few tries, like I said, and so it's just a learning experience.
What's up with Zachary? But also didn't come to the call. What's up, Andre? You gotta be in the car? What are you doing, bro? You not home?
Nope. I'm not home.
You out and about?
Army?
I say you're out and about.
I'm always in the goddamn Montreal. Tomorrow I have to go to Montreal again. I've got my prototype mini squidgy. Woo! I'm gonna show you that tomorrow live on Messenger.
All right, just real quick, so I get my mojo going. The habit of saving. To tell somebody about the habit of saving without telling them something that's draw a picture upon, it's like a horse. This is a horse. The saving of money is essential for success, but the question arises as to how much money, how can I do it? It's a matter of habit, and that's why we're going to start talking about habits. It's literally true that through the law of habit, we can shape our own personality, and once we fix something in our mind, it just takes action. That's what public speakers do. They can by telling the story over and over and over, it becomes a law of habit. And soon they forget that they're telling a story. Or reading for that matter, just telling a story. That's the first thing. And then about the walls of limitation, all of us go through poverty and want because we use the mind to destructive ends and not towards something gain. Why not fix your mind in the ability to earn more, to your capacity to earn more, and thus making it a habit. And then you can take away the fear of poverty. The formation of a habit, saving a habit doesn't mean that you should limit your amount of spending or the amount of money you earn. It just simply means that you got to put something away systematically. Doesn't matter whether it's $10 or $20. It's the fact that you do it in a systematic way. But studying this great law in a different way, the law of habit. First, you got to have a definite objective in your mind and a definite description of it. And to the law of habit, the object of your chief payment gets fixed in your mind and then implanted in there, and then you can demand prosperity. Well, and second, you can increase your earning power if you make this law of habit a provision. If you have written your definition of aim and your definition of purpose, you got to put in there how much money you want to earn. Therefore, as your earning increases, so should be the amount of proportion that you put in away. By urging yourself to demand this, you increase your earning power. You got to understand this. Nothing can be more practical than this. You know, if you reverse the operation and you turn this habit into I'm just going to make enough to make ends meet, and then that will be what you will get. You know, even in the newspaper, you hear so many news and crime waves and stuff related to that. It's all because it got picked up from a story. Before you know it, you got a group of people thinking the same things. So we are all victims of habits, especially the way that we think. The idea will be to put prosperity and abundance in our life, and you get away without we're worrying about negative stuff or that we're not going to make enough. But see, what happens is that like attracts like. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Something like that. And you can pick up on me, Matt, if you have the book in front of you, bro. Don't leave me hanging.
All right, my brother.
At the half mile mark, let me stop for 5 minutes, bro. Talk it out. This is another reason why it's good to have essays, bro, or at least something that you have written down. And if we come into this call and we have four people and everybody gets 15 minutes to talk on the subject. How you like the business that I'm in, bro? Look at that. A nice shirt in my underwear. You know, that's how I'm gonna make money, baby.
Yeah. We all move in Florida one day. No more boots, nothing. Yeah. Habit of saving.
Yeah. That's habit of saving.
Yeah.
Andre, if you have that, I don't know, man. You guys make me wing it.
Ah.
Nothing. Just a thought.
Welcome to the call.
You want to do the introduction, Andre?
No, I'm not gonna do that. It's better than me. Got the voice.
And that beautiful smile.
Matt's half asleep.
That's for that, huh? You're gonna be good, Matt, with us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I'll try to go soon.
You're gonna receive a lot of energies coming to your place then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll hang up and be awake.
You guys ever read this book?
Which one?
Look at it.
Well, I gotta find the picture.
The greatest salesman in the world. 8:56, bro. Get ready to rock and roll. We start at 8:59.
Ooh.
Budgeting time and money.
Yeah.
The habit of savings. The habit of savings. Lesson 3. The habit of savings. The habit of savings. Well, folks, so far we have gone through the mastermind principle. We have gone through a definition of purpose. He taught us how to save that wasted effort, which the majority of people spend trying to find their life work. That lesson taught us how to do away forever with aimlessly, without a purpose in life, and fix your heart upon something definite, something that you can conceive a purpose, something that you can make your life work. Then after that, it was about self-confidence. You know, we learn how to master those 6 basic fears, and if for whatever reason you haven't, go back to there and get rid of those fears before you go on from there. And to know that all of us are cursed at one time or another, but those 6 basic fears is just amazing. And also, we learn the difference between egotism and real self-confidence, and which is based about having something definite and some definite knowledge, not just a bunch of knowledge that is wasted. At any rate, good evening. Good evening. Glad to have you here.
What's the main topic tonight again?
The habit of saving. Bro, if you have that book, put it in front of your face, bro, so that you can go with me and you can go in front of me, and then you can stop me and ask me questions related to what's the next thing I'm going to talk about. That makes sense? If you're reading with me, you can pick up on what I'm doing.
Hmm.
8:58. 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
about to hit live in just 1 second.
5, 4, 3, 2, and we're live.
We're not live yet. All right, just a sec. Are you
You're
ready?
gonna do that to me, bro.
All right, you ready? I'm going live.
Let's go, mission control.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Masterminding call on the laws of success in 16 lessons by Napoleon Hill. Welcome on this Tuesday, 2019, May 9th. My name is Hugo de la Torre. I want to welcome you to our call. Tonight is about the habit of savings. Would you like to introduce yourself before we get rock and rolling?
Hello, everybody. My name is Matt Castle. It's May 21st, 2019. I'm glad to be here on the call with everybody.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. My name is André Guérin, calling from La Chute, Quebec, the French side of Canada, and I'm very glad to be with you, gentlemen and ladies.
Glad to have you here.
Yep.
Anthony from Lansing, Michigan, and glad to be here as well.
Great to have you here.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley. I'm from Southern California.
Hello, Miss Ashley.
Glad to have you here. The goal here of our call is to first of all, to help us, empower us by becoming better communicators. You know, one of the basic fears is the fear of criticism. And most people fear public speaking. So thank you, Ashley, for being here tonight. And the second is to learn the laws of success. So if you happen to have the book in front of you, you'll see how we go about doing this. Tonight is about the habit of saving. So let us just enjoy the next 45 minutes of our time. Down, have your cup of coffee, your water, whatever it is you prefer. And let us unveil the key that can give us all our wants, needs, and desires from life. You know, one promise can be made, that if you were to sit down and write on a piece of paper a statement as to what you desire the most from life, and on the back of the paper a statement as to what you intend to give back in return for those riches, and then just come here for 3 months, we can guarantee you at the least you'll be at the beginning point of your future achievement. So far, so good?
Very good indeed, my friend.
All right. So far we already been to the mastermind principle. When two or more people come together, we work in perfect harmony. That's where the so-called miracles happen. We also learn about what this earth is made out of and all that good stuff. Then we went about having a definition of purpose, achieve aim. And what that did was that taught us how to stop wasting effort, because the majority of people go through life like a boat drifting through the sea of life. Once you have something definite towards attainment, that will be the beginning point, something that you can spend your lifetime doing. And then we went about having self-confidence. And on that chapter, we learned how to master the 6 basic fears. And it's good that if you haven't mastered the 6 basic fears, that you at least go back to them and understand how we get those fears. It's either through heredity, the things that we bring to our parents, or social heredity, the things that we learn as we experience through life. And so that's the mastermind, definite chief aim, self-confidence. And tonight we're on the habit of savings. Folks, we're not the sharpest knife from the blocks here. We just like to share what we learn of the laws of success. So if you happen to have the book in front of you, you can pick up on what we're doing. And again, this is about public speaking. So at any time, please stop me and share the thought, because it's in those times where we get the biggest nuggets. So far, so good?
Very good.
All right. At the beginning of this chapter, it says that the only lasting favor which a parent can confer upon a child is to help that child itself. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. And at the end of the day, we are a combination of flesh, bone, blood, hair, and brain cells. These are the building materials that we shape ourselves through the law of habit. Because we're going to talk about habits. That's how we implant habits in our personalities. Now, we're talking about the habit of savings here tonight. And to tell somebody about how to save money without describing it would be like showing a picture of someone of a horse and writing underneath is a horse. Now, it's obvious that the saving of money is essential for success. But the question arises as to how can we do it? Well, it's just a matter of habit. And for this reason, we're going to start with the law of habit. So yes, it is true that through this law of habit, we shape our personalities. And through repetition of that, any act that we indulge on becomes a habit. And thus the motivating forces that dictates what we do on a daily basis. See, once we fix a habit in our subconscious mind, what it does is it voluntarily impels us into action. That makes sense? For instance, when you get up in the morning and you go to work, you just turn your car on, and before you know it, you take the same road, and before you know it, you fix a habit on it that you can kind of go there with your eyes closed, unless you have to make a detour to put some gas or to go visit somebody. That's the same thing with what we're doing here, to try to establish a habit, so that through repetition of thought, we just keep doing the same thing over and over and over. And if this is a good habit, then it becomes a part of our will. So far, so good.
That's a big reason that we come here, is for success. And the more we come here, the more of a habit it becomes, and the more we're reinforced with success principles, and we live it, we breathe it, we own it. So glad that we're all here together.
Amen, brother. Thank you, Matt. Thank you. In many ways, that's what public speakers do. Public speakers, what they do is they read the same thing over and over and over and over until it becomes part of the story, whether it's fiction or not. But what they did is they brought a lot of habit into place, and soon they forget about what they're reading. We have done this for over 3.5, 4, 5 years, reading the laws of success over and over and over and over. And it's amazing how every time we go back to it, you pick up new ideas from it. And yes, since we've gone over it so many times, we kind of know the stories, and one of those is that we build limitations within ourselves. Million of us go through life in poverty, and one, because we use the law of habit as a destructive way. not understanding that this law of habit, like the law of attraction, works. Whether we like it or not, it always works because like attracts like. And those who remain in poverty, they seldom realize this. And as a result, they always live in poverty. Why not fix in our mind the capacity to earn, if we earn $150 a day these days, why not say to ourselves we can earn $300? And then your subconscious mind starts to accept that, whether it's that you want to gain more or that you put in limitations to yourself. And if you do it in the wrong way, what happens is you start slipping. And before you know it, we get that pinch of fear of poverty again. And opportunity no longer knocks in our door. It just goes out the window. And then most people's fates are fixed there. That's 98% of the people. We have to change that. You want to share a thought?
Yeah, for sure. The habit of saving, it's an habit you have to take it. You have to understand it very young, because depending where you come from, if you come from a poor family, you need to know what you want very at a young age. So you're gonna save money to buy something you want really, and it's gonna be good for you to have it. But many people doesn't understand that. They just want to buy what the publicity want to give them, and they go on the credit, and they never get out of there. So yeah, the habit of saving with a definitive purpose, that's the best, to know to put money in the bank.
Well, that's what it's all about, is, having power to make choices and gaining self-confidence and striving towards your definite chief aim. And one of the ways to do that is to save your pennies, save your money. It gives you an extraordinary self-confidence when you have money and you can have choices. So it doesn't come without a price, though. The price you pay to learn how to save the money is well worth saving the money itself. So you learn a different attitude towards money when you learn to save. So it's not just the principle of saving just so you have a few bucks when you need it. It changes you as a person as well. So the habit of saving is a deeper law than I think we're even going to really scratch in terms of the surface here. So we'll see how it goes.
Very cool.
I think to add to what everyone said about saving, I think there's a lot of limiting beliefs around money in general, and a lot of it, as was mentioned earlier by one of the participants, about, you grow up in these different mindsets, whatever you obtain from your upbringing, what society tells you. And I think it's really critical, whether, I don't know what everyone's commitment is around money personally, but for me, financial freedom's a part of what I'm aiming for, and to break through a lot of those limiting beliefs. And it takes something. And I think it's very empowering to build the habit of saving, because you're paying yourself first. I think that's like a really main thing. You pay a lot of different other entities and businesses, right? But I think paying yourself first is very important. And on top of that, if your ultimate aim is to be financially free and, have that, what more now if you don't build that habit of savings with what little you have? I don't know what little is, depending on what everyone's standard of what it is right now. But when you do acquire a lot, if you don't have that muscle of saving, you'll just be a spender, you know what I mean? Or whatever habit, around money or whatever it might be. So I think it's very critical to build that kind of habit now, so that you're ready for the responsibility it takes to have prosperity, to be powerful with money, empowered around money. So.
Amen.
Let me ask you a question. Do you happen to have the book in front of you?
Hello?
If not, it's okay. It's not, it's okay. No.
I do. I have the PDF copy. Sorry, I'm doing this from my phone, so I haven't read this chapter yet. I'm only on cheap.
Okay. I just wanted you to see how we proceed on doing this also success. Not the, again. Thank you for being here tonight. So,
yeah.
The
Mhm.
formation of the habit of saving does not mean that we should limit our earning capacity. It just means the opposite. It just means that we're going to put a little bit away every time that we make some money so that we can serve that earning part, the earning. And then what happens is once we do that, it puts us on a way to greater opportunity, because when we have a little bit in the bank, what it does is it gives us a vision and it gives us self-confidence, and the imagination starts running and your enthusiasm cannot be overcome. And that's where initiative and leadership takes a role in your life, because actually you're increasing your earning capacity. And how can I state it in a different way? How about if we proceed in this manner? You know, we have written our definite aim and purpose, right? And our mind is based on that definition of earning. So everything that we spend is based on the things that we want that is going to help us achieve that goal at hand. And what happens is that our subconscious mind takes over that picture with what we have created as a blueprint, and like a chart, like a map. And that thing is molding our thoughts and our actions, and putting all the plans behind us towards the object of our chief aim or purpose. And through the law of habit, you know, we keep this definite chief aim fixed in our mind in a manner described by, you know, what we talked here earlier as a chief aim. And so by now it should have become firmly, you should write that thing 3,000 times, 5,000 times. So when you go through your daily life, that's all you speak about. Eat with it, sleep with it. Demand of yourself. The life is prosperity. On Sunday, we talk about the science of getting rich. It's good to have the right mindset so that we can prepare ourselves to receive all the great things that are coming our way, and thus paving the development of saving this money. And secondly, you know, once we start saving that money, and through the law of habit, we always going to have a little provision in there, and we should make that part when we write our chief aim in life, that we're going to put some of those monies away so that can be what we're going to have in the future, our future success. So far, so good.
Very good.
So thus, as our income increases, so should be the proportion of the money that we save. See, by urging us to demand of ourselves that we can get more money, and not only that, that we can, as our earnings grow, that on the other hand, we're going to put a little bit away. What happens is we remove any imaginary limitations from our mind, and then and only then we can be on the road to financial independence. You have to understand that, because nothing can be more practical and more easily to do than, look, this is why it's on the fourth principle. You know, right away saying, you know, get together with a group of people, write your chief aim out, so that will give you self-confidence. But now I'm going to stop you right here, right now. You better start saving money, because 98% of the people do not save money. As to the reason why there is the 2%, because the 2% worked their butt off for so many freaking years, so that when they had a little pot to, you know what, they took action. Otherwise, opportunity will just pass us by. See, this law of habit is something tremendous. You know, if we set up in our mind fear of poverty, soon the fear will reduce our earning capacity. And then we just make enough to make a living. That's not a way to live. And the publishers of newspaper take advantage of that. They put panic in people's life. Don't go reading that stuff. That's where the crime rates is the same thing. Before you know it, everything is terrible outside the window. You can't look at life that way. So it's just to say that we are victims of habits, no matter what our life calling it is. Because like you said earlier, you know, from our upbringing, we fix something in our mind, and then we permit to set that as our lifestyle, through our own suggestions, through the environment, through the association of people that we have. And before it, we start acting in ways that's not what nature's idea of having a life is all about. Instead, you know, why not form the habit of talking of prosperity and abundance? And before you know that, you will have an evidence right away. Things will start manifesting in your life. An opportunity like you never expected before comes into your hand. Because the reason being is that like attracts likes. And if you're in the business of talking and thinking about business being bad, guess what's going to happen? Your business will be bad. And not only that, you destroy the whole ethic of the whole organization. One bad apple destroys the whole thing. When all of our thoughts should be of goodwill towards others, and that there is no lack. There's only abundance. So don't be those type of people that are always talking negative. You know, there was a great banker that had in the front of his office, you know what, when we come here to this also, when we come to the Napoleon Hill, you know, we don't talk. We talk and think only of abundance. If anybody has a wood to tell, please go somewhere else with it. I'm sorry to say that, but that is so true. Because we're tolerant, but we're not to let any pessimism come into our life, because it's like a burglar that come into your business and try to steal your stuff. You don't want that in your mind. You know, there's tens of thousands of homes, if you go outside your community, that all they talk is about poverty and want. And you know what? That's just what they're getting in. They think of poverty, they talk of poverty, they accept it as their toll in life, and no wonder, you know, maybe our ancestors were poor because that's all they knew. We have to change our way of thinking. This poverty conscience, it's got to go out the window and start new paths to success. Do share a thought. This is not me talking. This is Napoleon Hill talking to you guys.
Oh.
Hope the cat didn't get your tongue. Come on, guys. We got a group here. That's a mastermind. When 2 or more people come together, there you have a mastermind. So please do share a thought.
The habit of saving. You need a good goal to get the habit of saving. When you start to put money in the bank to fulfill a goal, the thing this thing go fast. And like the lady said, you need a good goal to put. You have to pay yourself first, you know, to put 10% of your pay each week at the bank, and have a long-term goal with your money. Your money have to work for you when you sleep. That's the best way to get something in life, you know, to fulfill a dream, a good dream, you know, to raise your family. You need nearly 6 months in the bank to don't be afraid, to don't got fear, to don't got anxiety, to get a clear mind, to got a, you know, when you wrote your purpose, it's not an illusion. You know, it's something is possible to realize. And the habit of saving give you that. That's what I understand when I read it the first time. You know, you have to go to work for you and your gang, and put money in the bank and make your money grow, and make a good purpose and stay with it and go for it after. And this thing is working. It just takes 6 months of your life to do that. The first 6 months is tough. After that, it's a good habit. You don't spend money for crazy things, for nothing, for candy. You know where you put it, and you got your life in your hand. And that's very good. Thank you very much.
I don't know if you guys got the book in front of you. The Slavery of Debt. The Slavery of Debt. The Slavery of Debt. Go to the Habit of Savings. The Slavery of Debt. I'm not no preacher. I feel like I'm at a church doing a preaching thing, but I just want you to see how we go about going through this laws of success. You know, this thing called debt is a merciless master. It's the enemy of the habit of saving. See, poverty alone is sufficient to kill your ambition, to destroy your self-confidence, and destroy all kinds of hope in your life. So if you are in debt, get rid of them, because until we do, in Emerson, we learned that all debts must be paid. If we don't, we're doomed to failure. Because see, what happens is none of us can do our best work. And or command respect, or even carry a definite of purpose. If we have that like a monkey hanging on our shoulders, or being bound to slavery, because all that does is fills us with a bunch of ignorance. You there with me, boss man? We're in the habit of savings, the slavery of debt. Look at it, paragraph by paragraph, and follow me. I'm not the sharpest knife in the block, bro, but if you can do better, jump in. You hear me? If you feel froggy, jump. So let's say, for instance, you're making $1,000 a month, and before you know it, that's $12,000 a year, and we're spending $11,000 at the end of the year. You have kids, you have things to do, and before you know it, we don't have nothing, and we become unmeasurable. What a terrible thing it is to go through life, especially in the middle of life, like a prisoner in chains, bound and owned by somebody else's debt. And the accumulation of debt, even though they start very small, it grows big, step by step. And what happens is eventually it takes charge of our soul. Even thousands of young men start their married life with unnecessary debt hanging over their head. No wonder they never get out of it. And then the novelty of marriage ends, it wears off, and before you know it, we become embarrassed because we can't get the things that we want from life. And this leads most time to a dissatisfaction between one another, eventually to the divorce course. Man, you'd be surprised what this fear of poverty brings into your life. So if we are bound by slavery, we can't set up new goals. And we start drifting. And we begin to put limitations in our mind. And then like walls of prisons, this thing of fear, of doubt, never escapes us. So no sacrifice is greater than to get that monkey off our back, debt. Think of what you can do for yourself and those people that depend on you if you get rid of those things. Every successful person will tell you that. That until you bury the habit of throwing all your money away and buying things, like Andres said, for things that are not necessary, you will continue to be a slave to debt. How fortunate are those that can have enough sense for themselves because they did something before it became quicksand. And then instead of becoming a victim, they became someone that people admire. So take this fear of poverty and understand that it's the most destructive of the 6 basic fears. And the people that become hopefully in debt, you get seized by the fear of poverty, and your ambition and your self-confidence just paralyzes, and no longer you are able to do anything. Now, there are 2 classes of debt. There are debts that you just buy for luxuries. Those things don't get you nowhere. And then there are debts or core in the course of your profession or business. For instance, my goal at first was I was just a handyman and a painter, and from there I was going to go into the flipping of homes. Well, that's what I did. You know, I went to work and I bought paint. I went to work and I bought a window. I went to work and I bought a door. I didn't have no money to buy a house, and lo and behold, everything was going to be there. But I understood the principle that if I took a percentage of the money that I was making and I was putting it towards my cheap aim, lo and behold, that thing's got to pay. It didn't pay. And you guys talk about the habit of doing more than paid for. I have not got paid in 3 years. But when I do get paid, there are going to be 3 houses that are going to sell at one time. And I will, forgive me, I don't talk about the eye. But the point of the matter is, put that money towards your chief aim. That's well spent money. Believe me so. Get that shirt just one more time and we'll get there, brother. So the first class can be avoided. Those things that you don't need, you can avoid that. Those indulgences, at least for the time being. You know, you're gonna have to hang out with people that, at least in your part, you don't have to spend so much money. You know, when the people that don't have no money, there are those people that speculate that there's hope. that at some time or another, we're going to recoup in a single tournament event all the money that we have wasted. And that doesn't happen. What does happen is that the fear of poverty starts to break you down in your willpower, and then you find yourself with a lost fortunate, sad, because your ambition just went out the window and you're still a slavery of debt. I mean, no day passes. One of the greatest, when it comes to suicide, if you analyze this, because those people were in debt. You want to share a thought? Sorry, I'm rambling so much, man. Here, let me just go to the next stop, and I'll stop for a minute. The person who is free from debt and has whipped this thing of poverty, man, you're going to achieve outstanding success. No doubt about it. This fear of poverty is a negative, destructive state of mind. And more than that, it attracts similar people and circumstances in your life. If you fear poverty, you're going to fear ill health. And before you know it, you're going to grow old with all kinds of sickness and no money. And you get old way before you should be getting old. There's millions of graves out there. It's because people grew old too fast. They worry too much. And why not secure a position in your life so that money and creditors will not be part of our life, so that we put them all away, and then we can search for financial independence and a worthy goal to achieve for the rest of our life. Please do share a thought. We'll take a minute, get a drink.
Go for it, Matt.
I think, how you guys doing tonight?
Hey, Steve, very good. And you?
I'm good.
All right, all right.
I think I think we're in this position right now where the world views us by the materialistic things that we have, So I think a lot of the times we try to show off our success by purchasing things or, getting what the next man doesn't have, just so it shows that we're in a higher financial position than what we really are. I think if we take our money and we silently move it around to put it towards, like Hugo was saying, our chief aim, or what are our goals, like invest what we have and then spend the rest, instead of spending what we have and then invest in the rest. I think the social media world it could be detrimental to us, or it could really have a positive impact on us depending on what we want to do with it. That's my thought.
Thank you, Steve. Very kind. Yeah, for sure. The debt, the credit card, if you invest in the credit card company, you're gonna make 25% of money of everybody who got debt. So you have to think about how much money you want to give it to them each month. So it's a crazy thing to go on that if you take the time to understand it. And having a purpose and a chief aim, and you put your money on it, like you go say it slowly but surely, step by step, you're gonna make money for sure. If you start your own business, it's very tough the first year, sometimes 2 years, very tough. But you work for you and you work for your customer, and you handle a budget, and you know how to put your money at the good place. And that's really the liberty the founding father of your country told us, to be free of debt, of money, of slavery, and to think with your head, to be free in your mind and soul. So if you go out of the credit And it's possible to go out of the credit. You just have to pay cash. That's it. But it's good to have a card for the bad day, because now they all take money with the card. And that's unvalued the money. But if you got the habit of saving, you're going to be comfortable in your mind and soul. And how much you worth that, no pills for anxiety. You do what you have to do when it's the time to do it. You want to go on vacation with your family, it's possible to go, and if you got a daily job, well, you put 10% in the bank, and after that, you take a course to make that role for you, not for them, for you. That's the habit of saving, and that's very nice for that. I love that book for that. Thank you very much, monsieur.
I think my parents also told me don't spend the money that you don't have, and I really never really understood that till I maxed out my first credit card, and now it's unfortunately because we could learn from the successful people. What I'm thinking now, people thought about years ago, and look at where they're at now as far as habits of saving or making money. Like, you don't notice how much money you spend, but if you go to Walmart or Publix or wherever your grocery store is, and you're walking down to pay for all your necessities, you see the pack of gum, or you see the the little things, and you spend money on that, and unfortunately all that adds up at the end of the year, but you don't realize it until you stop yourself and really look at your financials or what you're spending every single day, to see if you could put that $1 away. So every time you think about a pack of gum, you put it towards your savings or something like that.
That's true.
Thank you very much. Listen, guys, in here we have 6 people. If you analyze the law for success, now I hope you guys understand what we're trying to do here. And you will see that most chapters have 30 pages. And if you divide 30 pages by 7, that's only 4 pages a night. You should be reading those 4 pages so that when we come into these calls, we can speak of something that we know of, not something that we're hearing for the first time. If you divide those chapters, you will see that they come with 3 stories each. If each of us individuals will take the time to write an essay about the story, a short thing as to, how this influenced your life. And then on Sunday, that's the goal, that everybody has 15 minutes to speak on the subject and do whatever you want with it. That's where you get the power of the mastermind, and you can share your thoughts and ideas about it. For the time being, let us go back to Napoleon Hill, because that's where I believe we get the best benefit. If you're with me, we're on the part where it says how to master the fear of poverty. So far, so good?
Very good, my friend.
Now, to whip this fear of poverty, we got to take 2 definite steps. Providing that's if you're in debt. Quit buying things on credit and pay off the debt that you have. Believe me, I'm not the sharpest knife in the block, so we all got the same problem. Don't think one is better than the other, but it's good to understand these things. Because see, what happens is when we're free from debt, we get new habits, and our course of life goes towards prosperity. So let us adopt, as part of our definite aim, to put a little bit away, a penny a day. And very soon, we'll be putting dollars in there, like you said. Get a piggy bank if you have to for the time being. Because the minute that you start that's when we start on the road to financial independence. Merely to start this thing and next week stop it ain't going to get you where you want to go. If we discontinue the habit, what happens is we get into a hole again, and not only in the habit of it, but in our own mind, and then we try to take the same road as we took before, and we don't want to go down that road. We want to develop self-confidence. And again, we're talking about habits. And there's a statement here on the top. There's so many people that they say don't tell your chief end to everybody, because they'll put sandblocks in your block. They'll put stumbling blocks. They'll put I don't know, diesel in your gas. But for those people that tell you it couldn't be done, go right up to them and tell you, who told you that it could not be done? I mean, what right do you have to tell other people that it can't be done? I mean, you didn't do it, or because you didn't finish your task. So don't come over here telling me that something cannot be done. Let me get that off my chest. See, throughout this course, what we're doing here is, bro, we're putting a new psychology in our mind. And we as students have to memorize this and practice it, as has been described. Each one by one. First, create a group. Then try to achieve fame. Watch how we're spending money, because otherwise, or I should say self-confidence. After you have a little self-confidence, you're getting cocky, save a little money before you get ahead of your game. And then assume that what you're striving for is financial independence. And you got to put a little bit away. Even Napoleon Hill, at the beginning of the course, they didn't have this in the 16 laws of success. Come to find out that Napoleon Hill said, hey, hold on a minute, there's something missing here. And once they started putting this into the 16 laws of success, people started to prosper. And then wonder, oh my God, what a misuse I've been doing to these people. We have to understand that money does represent a big factor in success. But we got to treat money as an entity. That is going to be something useful, that's going to make us happy, and that is going to make us prosperous. In this age of materialism, when most people look at others as success by the money that they have in their bank account, it's not a good thing. But it's true that the man without money is at the mercy to those that have it. Can we understand that? I mean, there is no escape from the fact that people will wage you because of your bank balance, no matter who you are or what you can do. The question arises as to, when you meet most people, when they meet somebody, they say, "How much? What do you have?" Worse than that, and how can I get my hand on some of that? It's true. They are all true. We have the tendency to judge people because of what they have, because of the control that they have within those monies. And that's not a good thing to do. And if we look past as what Thomas Edison and Ford did, they had to practice that before they attained success. And as Ford is concerned, that plant, they didn't waste anything in the plant. The one thing that made Ford so successful was that they didn't waste anything. And that over the years, those hundreds of thousands, 600, they were adding to millions of dollars. They didn't waste no time or money on anything. There has been many people also that you're going to meet along your life that they get to the point where success is right there. And because we didn't take the time to put a little bit of money away, opportunity just passed us. The amount of business that failed because they didn't have capital for emergency at the beginning is unreal. And that causes more failure than anything else. So this thing about saving money is essential if you're going to start operating a business. As a business or as an individual, savings is good in two ways. First of all is to seize opportunities. And second of all is to have ready cash so that you don't be embarrassed. When you have to go with a group of people and you can't afford to buy your own things. And if we don't have the habit of savings, there's other qualities that are essential for success that they grow from the habit of savings. How many pennies and dimes we allow to slip through our fingers when we should be putting those things away? And here in the books, it tells you good things about the habit of savings. I don't want to go all through the thing, but perhaps the whole key of that is that the experience that the majority of people have is that we think more about how we're going to spend the money than we can they say about, well, how can we save a little bit of this money? And thus, by saving a little bit, we have self-control. We know that we have to sacrifice today for that tomorrow. And then, even though it might seem unpleasant at first, why not use it so it becomes as a thrill as to when we're spending money? And there's a reason for this. It's to create a habit. And the more we do it, the better we become at it. So in truth, this habit of saving, it can be made as fascinating as a habit of spending money once you get into it, because you have a little bit accumulated and you want to put more into that. So find a reason to develop this habit and to acquire it. And at the same time, please practice all those other habits that we'll be talking about, like having self-control, like having self-confidence, and having the courage to come into this goal and speak your mind. 9:42, and we have 15 minutes left, so everybody gets to share a thought. Please do so, and on Thursday, we'll continue on this chapter. My name is Hugo, and I'll speak at the end. Remember, the last one is like the public speaker, so we're all waiting to hear the last one. Other than that, please do share a thought. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to share some thoughts and kind of going back to some of things that people have said. So, Steve, you had mentioned, how there's that, social media. This is earlier comment you mentioned about people look like they're rich, but it's a materialistic world that we're kind of living in. And, it looks good that people are acquiring all these materialistic things. And I think like one thing to note about when it comes to saving and spending is keeping in mind the intention behind the saving and spending, the act of it, because I feel like if you look at the intention, it could come from either way. It could be from the fear of poverty, right, what we're talking about here, or it could be moved by this abundance, prosperity mindset. And I think that's something to take a look at whenever we take an action and whether we're saving and spending, because it may look like, they're acquiring all this money, but if it's coming from a fear of not having less, then, that's kind of fear-based, right? So the comment about that. And I think, Hugo, I want to make a comment about what you were saying about people who say that we can't, and how frustrating and moving that can be at times. They're just like, I can't, what? Let me tell you something, right? But I think something to keep in mind about people who say that, it really comes from their own limitations and fears. So really it's a projection of their limitation and fears. Maybe it's a projection of they can't do it on us, and so bringing compassion to that too, because they're not at that same level of, aiming or whatever their chief aim might be, especially if they're living from survival or scarcity. And I think the last thing I want to make a comment about all this, and thank you guys, everyone here, so much for allowing me to be on this, because I had no idea how this is going to be. And I haven't read this chapter yet, but what I really loved about this chapter is thinking about how we, just as we have a habit of saving, right, they're encouraging that there is a habit of spending. And if we are to eliminate the habit of spending, which is something I'm working on myself, and I feel like I've gone great lengths over the last 2 years, particularly when I committed to looking at financial independence for myself and freeing myself of debt. I have a huge student loan debt and all this things that I'm trying to hack away, but replacing the habit of spending with the habit, like if replacing that isn't simply enough, because it leaves that hole, like this reading says, you have to really replace it with a good habit. And I feel like exactly what this chapter is saying, whenever you kind of drill out these bad habits, whether it's bad mindsets, bad limiting thoughts, but especially these bad habits that are preventing us from getting to that next level of success, you always have to take a look at habits that you can start putting in place on a daily basis to finally move you towards your chief aim. So really enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much for leading this, Hugo, since I didn't really know how this is going to go, and everyone's thoughts so far.
Right. I like that. Actually, I kind of got disconnected for a little bit, but I'm back. So I'm just saying, we know better, but we're not doing better. You get what I'm saying? We know we have the issue. We know we have the problem, but we ain't fixing the problem. I think it helps me to, if I do have a problem, I write it down, and that helps me stay focused because sometimes my mind is all over the place. And I could think about something now, and then 5 minutes I'll be thinking about something else. So I really need to keep a pen and paper, ready. But going back to the people that said we can't, going back to this again. The person that says they can and the person that says they can't are both usually right. But this is for your own self. Now, if you're going from the people aspect of telling you can't, people will tell you that they can't because there are people who see you are working hard and seeing you are getting ahead, and they aren't willing to put in the effort to work a little harder than you or see you succeed because they're just right here while you're just a little bit above, what everybody's expectation is. And then you're like, oh, what is this guy on? Like, I want 10 of whatever he's having. But you got to be the hardest worker in the room. But you also got to have people around you, like a support system, because the bird of a feather flocks together.
Yes, sir.
All like-minded people, you see a lot of these groups, and they're all mostly, like-minded people. They have the same goals. They have the same ambitions. But also, we got to be ready for an opportunity, even if we don't have an opportunity, than to have an opportunity and not be ready. So those are little things I need to work on too. And as far as the spending goes, it's kind of like it's a little hard because you're working so hard, and you're like, okay, you made it. You say you're making this amount of money, so you know how to live on this amount of money. But unfortunately, when you make just a little bit more money, then the spending goes a little higher because you feel like, oh, I could do something different, or I could get something else today. And that shouldn't be how it is. If you know how to live on this amount of money, then you should keep it at this amount of money because you know how to work perfectly on this amount of money. So when you make a little bit more money, then that should probably go into a savings or something like that. But stuff always comes up, so it's kind of contradictory sometimes. Start beating yourself up.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah, like you said, both. I raised 4 kids and I'm a grandfather of 3. So yeah, a bit of saving. I have to learn it very young, but it was not for my personal goal. My goal was to raise my family, and I got that my kid very young. I was a grandfather at 39, so I don't got time to make a big purpose of my life, and I have to work to fulfill all what I have to fulfill for the family. But after that, when the kid grow and they go out of the nest, and I was needing a new way of thinking to fulfill my goal, and to finish my life correctly, to start my own business and my creation project. So the habit of saving helped me to arrive at that. I was searching something. I find this mastermind with Hugo, Matt, and many other people. And the power of the mastermind go with the habit of saving. Because when you are struggling each week to put a little money in the bank for your project, like you said, Steve, you know how to live with $100. When you make a $300, you have to live it with $100 and put $200 in the bank for your project or your future project. And that's the toughest part I learned in that mastermind. You know what I mean? Because I don't need all that stuff, but it's so good for me. So now it's an habit to put that in my mind and live it, live it. And the way I live now is so comfortable. It's very quiet and I like it. You know what I mean? And I know everybody in that mastermind gonna succeed because we take conscious of the defect we got and we're gonna go on the success with a new mind. And that's the power of that mastermind. Thank you very much.
So
Yeah,
my
thank you guys.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Anthony.
Thank you guys for your input. Thank you for everyone being on the call. It was good to have some different inputs today. The habit of saving is one of those things that compounds over the years, and that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't really realize the power of. Tony Robbins tells a story about I think it was a FedEx or UPS driver who just with the habit of saving, and he didn't even make over like $40,000 a year, but the habit of saving allowed him to retire as a millionaire. And basically he didn't think he could do the saving, and he was just told, look, if you were taxed by the government, you would pay it regardless. You would be forced to do it. So he just did it, and it was tough at first, but once he created the habit, he didn't even realize he was missing it. It was just automatically taken out. So once you create that habit, it just compounds, and it really goes with anything. The habit of saving can go with money, but it can also go with knowledge. The more you're saving knowledge and investing in your knowledge each week and compounding that, creating that habit is key. So I appreciate all you guys, and I look forward to the next call on Thursday.
And I just want to add one more thing. Going back to Andres, and I think we all could have the greatest ideas, and I think we could really make a difference for ourselves financially. And for me, it's the same thing. I have such great ideas of what I want to do and what I want to be, but the thing is, I'm not consistent with it. And I think consistency is a big thing. If you have a great idea, you got, although you're not motivated tomorrow the same way you're motivated today about that idea, then you need to work like you're motivated like the day you came up with this idea. You know what I'm saying? And stay consistent with it. Because if you're not consistent with it, you're not going to get anywhere.
That's so true.
Matt, you're next, buddy. Unless you want to go last. Well, I'm here to tell you this. How about this? Yes, this is about public speaking. It's also, because there's a saying that the job will go to the person that can speak. Believe me so. And at the end of the day, we're all trying to do one sell to the right person. Can we agree on that? Matt, you there? So let us do this. Since there's 6 of us here, we're just getting started here. We're really just getting started. This is our 3rd week. Let us begin a new life. Let us shed that skin that for too long has suffered the bruises of failure and the wounds of mediocrity, let's say. Why not be born again? Why not this place be a vineyard where there's fruit for all? Why not go out there and pluck the grapes of wisdom from the vineyard that were planted from those people that came before us, generation to generation? Thank you, Napoleon Hill, for being here today. So, for the next few months, let us taste the grapes from the vines, and let us swallow the seed of success that is buried in each one of these lessons. And what happens is a new sprout will spring forth from within us. No matter what career we have chosen in life, we understand that it is with a lot of heartbreak, and a lot of despair. And if you were to look at all the bodies of the people that have failed, then it will cast a shadow upon the biggest pyramid of this earth. Yet, you and I don't have to fail, because what we have in our hands right now, this laws of success, is like a chart that is going to take us to the perilous waters, to the shores, where only yesterday, it seemed like a dream. See, failure doesn't have to be the payment for struggle. Nature, as we have learned, it has made no provision for a body to suffer pain or failure. Pain, like failure, should be alien to our life. In the past, we might have accepted it, but not no more. Because see, we have the wisdoms and the principles that can guide us to the sunlight of wealth. You got to believe that, to better position, to happiness far beyond our wildest dreams. And until what our parents have done may seem like nothing. Put that name up on the world stage. See, time teaches things to the person that has the luxury for eternity, but yet we don't have that. But within allowed time, let us practice the habit of having patience. And you got to have patience. An onion plant only lasts 9 weeks, and an oak tree that I have outside my window takes 100 years to grow. And many of us have lived like an onion plant. And I'm sure you're not pleased like I am, otherwise we will not be here tonight. Why not become like the olive tree? Man, that thing takes 100 years. Why not become the best salesman in your field of endeavors? But you say, Hugo, how the hell are we going to accomplish this? Well, we don't have the knowledge. We don't have the experience. And in many ways, we have the ignorance, and we have fallen in the pool of self-pity. Well, I'm here to tell you that there's a simple answer. The first thing we have to do to start our journey is to get rid of those fears, those things that came through social heredity. Nature has already supplied us with all the knowledge and all the instincts for us to be much greater than any beast in this forest. But what happens is that most people use that power stupidly, and then they speak even worse. In truth, experience teaches everything. But what happens is it starts to divorce a life. And what happens is by the end of the life, you see all this knowledge on people that will not share it with others. It's just like fashion. What was successful yesterday might not be successful today, or unworkable, or impractical tomorrow. Only principles endorse. This thing was written back in 1930, and now we possess it. We have the laws to create greatness, and they are in these scrolls. And what they're teaching us is not more to gain success, but to prevent failure. You got to understand this, because if you ask 2,000 people, then they say, what is success and what is failure? Failure is the inability to reach your goals, whatever they may be. A guy that's successful, he doesn't need no explanation. He's just successful. So the only difference between those people that have succeeded and those people that have failed, the difference is in their habits. Good habits are the keys to success. Bad habits, those are the unlocked doors to failure. So the first thing we got to do is we got to form new habits, and we got to become their slave. And if this is a good habit, man, I'm happy to be a slave. As a child, we were a slave to our impulse. And now, as we get older, we're a slave to our habits. And we surrender our free will to those habits. And our past deeds shows a path that is threatening us right now to increase in our future. See, our actions are ruled by our appetite, by tyrants, greed, love, fear, environment, and habit is the worst of them all. Therefore, if we got to be slave, let us be slave to good habits. All those bad habits got to be destroyed, and prepare a new seed for new habits. So let us create new habits. Let us become a slave. And you say, well, how are we going to do this? Read each chapter, 4 pages a day. It's another of nature's laws that only one habit can subdue another habit. So in order for these words that you're reading or what you're hearing can come to work, is you got to put it to practice. Tomorrow, talk about it. Thursday, talk about it. And that's what you're going to talk about this week about it. And as we read each scroll in the same manner, first read it in silence. And then write something about it. And then at night, talk to yourself about it. Make sure that you go in the bathroom so nobody hears you doing it. And on the next day, do the same thing. And repeat it, and repeat it, and repeat it, and repeat it until it becomes a habit. Now you say, what can we accomplish by this habit? Well, here's where lies the secret of all man's accomplishment. As we repeat the words, as we read them all over and over, what happens is that something starts seeping into your subconscious mind. And before you know it, you start acting in ways you can't even comprehend. Man, you got to believe this. And as the words are consumed, we began to wake every freaking day. I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning, baby, and I'm here at 7 o'clock because I want to learn something new and I want to create this. How strong is your burning desire? You got to have enthusiasm. That's what happened. Enthusiasm comes and plays a role. And you desire to meet the world, bro, you wake up like, bring it on, divine providence, we're ready. And there's no strife of sorrow. And eventually, we began to act when things confront us as these laws of success tell us to do. And these actions and the reactions, they become easy to do. Thus, we have a new habit. And through repetition, like you said, it becomes a pleasure to do it. And if it's a pleasure to do it, it's in our nature to perform it. So let us begin a new life. And let us hear the six of us make a solemn oath to ourselves that nothing is going to retard our new life growth. That we're not going to lose one day. We will be here for you, man. But it's up to you. And you can't substitute today for another day. So let us not break the habit of doing this. Because what happened is, man, we've been here for 3 years. But the happiness that we have today, I'm speaking for myself, and I don't like to speak to us, and the success that are going to be ours only came because we read and we reread these scrolls. And we never let the simplicity of each one cause us to treat this like lightly. You got to believe in this. Thousands of grapes are taken to the press, and and the wine is made, and the rest is thrown to the pulp. The pulp is thrown to the birds. Don't let this be wasted on pulp like a pulp. Swallow the seed of success in every lesson. My name is Hugo de la Torre. Matt, you're last. But we'll see you Thursday. Would anybody like to say the prayer before we leave? 10:04. All right. Sorry, I get emotional. Oh, divine providence, we ask not for more riches. We just ask that you let us direct our mind to whatever it is we desire. Have a blessed night.
Thank you, Hugo.
Hey, I want to do something real quick, okay? You know how there's one person that could tell you that you can't do something. And when that one person tells you you can't do it, then it takes over 21 times for you to believe you can, for somebody to tell you you can. 21 times. So I want to say this. I can do 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 this. We 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 can do this. Let's make it happen, baby.
Thank you, Steve.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve.
It isn't the we succeed individually.
All right. Anthony, you got control.
Good call. Thank you, Hugo. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Miss Ashley and Anthony to be there. And I hope you're going to be there Thursday night. I'm going to find a camera. And you're going to show me his face. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. See you Thursday.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Ciao, dear.